Hello, hello, hello. Today is day 5 of 365 days. T is for Temidayo. Woo! I'm feeling okay today. Now that I'm on day 3 of my period, I feel more like a human and less like a ball of cramps. Again, one of the reasons I am even here is to help said cramps. So, here we go. I'm thinking of also doing two gloves today so I can spread the pump between two hands and make it easier to go on both sides. Today we are doing our glutes. Yesterday we did, I think, like quads. That was fine. Um, but yeah, today I was like, let's do our butt because, like I said, I want a big fat non-binary booty. So we're gonna make that happen. We're also not going to rub it in too much because I don't want it to start flaking. Wearing underwear, by the way. Um, yeah. Whatever excess I have, I'm just going to kind of wrap it around. Boots. Done! All right. So, that's done. Now I can finish getting ready for the day with my shorts on. Yes. So what did we want to talk about today? Okay, so today we are talking about doctor's office number 2 after yesterday's debacle, which I will link here so you can listen to the full description of what happened at doctor's office number 1. We're at doctor's office number 2. Now, doctor's office number 2 was recommended to me by a group of other T4Ts who were like, listen, I've been here. They do, in fact, give people prescriptions. People do, in fact, use this office to facilitate their medical transition. Fantastic. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be great. I have my first appointment with Kirsten. She's like, okay, what are you in for? And I'm like, I'm here for gender affirming care. She's like, okay, fantastic. Like, let's get started. And it wasn't like very obvious. And I don't even know if it was conscious on her part, but I remember thinking like, her face looked a little bit disappointed to see this person she was probably perceiving as a cis woman in her office saying that I wanted like to start a medical transition, like FTM medical transition. I think more on that later. So we have a conversation. She tells me all about it. And I'm like, I know a lot of this stuff already because I have been thinking about transitioning for a really long time. And I'll tell you probably about that more in the next video. So please do come back tomorrow to listen to what I've been thinking about transition and how I've been thinking about it and how long I've been thinking about it. So we're in her office. She's telling me the rundown. She has me sign these like documents that are like, these are all of the things that can happen to you in terms of side effects, in terms of like the manifestation of this transition. And I'm like, okay, yes, yes, yes. She's like, annotate it, take it home with you. When we come back in a week, we'll talk about it. And I do just that. Like, I take that very seriously. I take that part of this medical journey very seriously in terms of like, I'm going to read every document. I'm going to read them all front to back. I might read them multiple times. I'm going to make sure that I'm present while I'm reading them so I can really get the full extent of what it is that these documents are saying, because this is going to be happening to my body. And like whether it's happening word for word on the page, I know like some part of this is going to be relevant to me. So I want to make sure that I have all the information that I can. So I'm reading this document at home, I'm annotating it, I bring it back in the week later. And, every time I come in to this office in particular, they do these like sort of like wellnessy survey check situations. And I'm pretty honest on these. I'm like, listen, I don't feel great in terms of my anxiety. I don't feel great in terms of my depression. Those two things are not like directly connected to my medical transition in the sense where like I wouldn't feel better if I started my transition. I think it's actually quite the opposite, that I would feel better knowing like, okay, great, I'm getting the care that I need. And I feel like we are living also in a bit of an interesting age in the sense where it's like you almost don't want to be as honest as you can be at these doctor's offices because there is this stigma of like, oh, well, if you're feeling a little like we can't give you this medicine because this medicine might make you feel more like that. And I'm like, no, I need you to give me this medicine because it's going to make me feel less like that. So I come in for the second appointment. We go over the pages that I annotated. I'm asking a lot of questions because for me, questions are almost like a love language in the sense where I'm like, I want to know as much as I can know. And I had a really good friend, Cece Reed, tell me like years and years and years ago, back when I was in undergrad, like I think her father gave her this piece of advice that was essentially like, ask all of the questions that you have until you have no more questions. And it was a very simple, quick, thing that she said that I'm probably also kind of paraphrasing. But I remember in that moment, as someone who grew up in a house where it felt like asking questions was not encouraged, like my world opened up with that invitation. And I've taken it with me ever since. And so I was asking all the questions that I had until I didn't have any more questions left. And I feel like, again, that was taken as like, is it a response or a manifestation of my anxiety? And I'm like, no, it's actually a manifestation of like how excited I am to begin this part of my journey because I want to know as much as I can know, especially because so much of this is still pretty experimental. So that coupled with the fact that I was honest on this survey that was like, yeah, sometimes I have suicidal ideations. Yeah, sometimes like I feel so anxious that I can't really do anything. Yeah, sometimes I feel so depressed that I don't want to get out of bed. She essentially was like, we're going to need to send you to psych. Once again, so we are back to square one in the sense where like another doctor is making me do a psych eval essentially before being able to prescribe me any kind of testosterone. And I am pissed because not only is this the second doctor's office I've been at, this is also like month 3 of this situation, right? Because again, like I said in the last video, it takes about a month to get an appointment at these doctor's offices because the city is so full of people. There are so many people that need to see these doctors that you have to book them out a month in advance. It's like the hottest fucking restaurant. And so I'm looking at her like please don't do this right now. Just just help me begin this journey. Like it felt like she was gatekeeping the journey from me. It felt like all of a sudden like I could not trust my own thoughts, or like she could not trust my own thoughts, rather. Not even I could, because I can always trust my own thoughts, but that she couldn't trust my own thoughts. And it was pissing me off, and it was making me, of course, like start to put my walls back up of like, you said you were on my side and now all of a sudden it feels like you're not. And it was making me so angry. And so the day came where I was supposed to have this essentially like psych evaluation appointment. I had my intake conversation with this behavioral health specialist, and then also, by the way, this is a little bit of rosemary oil that I made. I was feeling like I needed a little bit of extra today, so we're doing lotion and rosemary oil and testosterone, just to seal the deal. Yeah, so oh my god, that smells amazing. I have my intake appointment with this behavioral health specialist. It's fine. He's like, okay, in a little bit, like in like a week or two, we're gonna have our more in-depth thing. And then once it seems like you're okay, we'll write you the script. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. So the day comes. I also happen to have something to do that day, which made it even better. In the sense where I was like, I'm not going to this appointment, y'all. I'm not picking up the phone when he calls. I'm not doing this with y'all because right now, if this is how this is beginning, I don't know how this is going to look for the rest of the time that I'm with this practice. I don't know. And I don't want to be in an office where every step of the way it feels like I either have to lie or I have to somehow like work within these weird games in order to get what it is that I need. And I'm not going to be able to feel relaxed, to be completely honest and transparent and vulnerable. Frankly, like this is going to be a huge undertaking for me and for them. And so I just wanted to find an office that felt like it was going to be a place where I could like relax, tell the whole truth, be really vulnerable and really transparent. And so I went to office number 3. As always, we will end with a lip trill, starting at the bottom. right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.